Hi and welcome to Week 3, Module 3, IT 270, diving into CSS. The videos are accessed by clicking right here. We're looking at intermediate CSS concepts in site structure and navigation. For 3.1 web activity, intermediate CSS concepts, this will bring up your PDF for the assignment. Clicking here brings up the supplemental exercise files if you don't have them already. Positioning in CSS helped bring web design to a whole new level. In the previous way of laying out websites, which was using a table-based layout, your site was pretty much at mercy to the browser that was interpreting it. When CSS came along and positioning allowed you to create layouts like the type of layout you'd find in a magazine or designs that were done on paper. The three most popular types of positioning are relative, fixed, and absolute. Relative, if you look at relative 1, this is a div or an element. You have your open and close tag. Well, relative to div is placed relative to relative 1. So the positioning of the relative to div is going to depend on where the relative 1 div is because you have a relative positioning. Fixed positioning, on the other hand, your div will always be, or your element will always be in the exact same positioning. Right here I have fixed positioning. So no matter what happens to the browser, this element or div stays right in the corner. We're also looking at creating an inline block. For 3.2 Final Project Milestone 2, we're looking at site structure and navigation. I have some examples here. This is just a blank site map, which you could fill in, and it's at a perspective with color. It makes it a little bit more engaging, I suppose. This is a site map, basically, and it's a little bit higher sophistication of what you'd need for a website map. Another site map with the home page. And this is how you navigate through the site from the home page to the downloads. One thing about a sitemap is that small changes can make huge differences in the navigation. And the great thing about a sitemap is that you have access to all types of information. You have access to way more information than a person with a brick and mortar store because you have the server logs, which give you all type of information. So if you see that the traffic is bottlenecking, say at videos, you might want to reposition things to get a smoother flow. If you had a brick and mortar store, you basically are not privy to all the information you're going to be able to compile here on your users. When you look through the server logs, you're going to get all types of detailed information. How much time a person spent browsing, how they navigated, what browser they were using, what platform they were using, even geographic information. So here's the IT 270 Milestone 2 guidelines and rubric doc. What I'm going to do is make this a little bit bigger. So first we're going to look at creating a navigation scheme. You have a couple of options here. One would be just to either take this, copy and paste, and change the text and arrange accordingly. Or the other option you'd have would be to create a whole new blank document and use your shapes right here. And if I wanted to use another shape to represent something, so then adding text is the next thing you'd want to do here, and maybe add some lines, which you can find all up here under the insert shapes. So that's another option. So the other part will be your response to these questions, and your response you can do right here, or again you can put it in another doc, as long as you reference the original question. So I hope that helps. Thanks. Bye.